What's up guys, I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never and welcome back to another Oscar update. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Okay, so as you guys can see, Oscar has started to retrace a little bit. It's back down to a $1.8 million market cap. There was a point in time where Oscar was back above a $2.5 million market cap. Now, you could argue a big reason that Oscar is starting to drop is because Ethereum is also starting to drop. If you look at Ethereum right now, we've had 2 red candles in a row. And you can see that this current red candle is actually retesting the 200-day moving average yet again. This yellow line right here is a very important level, and you can see that the previous candle closed just above it. And then this candle is currently trading just above it. And understand this moving average is constantly moving. However, it's currently right around that 2500 range. So if we see Ethereum close above this level, then that'll still be a decent look. But if we close beneath the 200-day moving average, then honestly, I would just expect the consolidation to continue. And if you look at Oscar, it's kind of just doing the same thing. It's consolidating just like most meme coins. In fact, if you come over here and you look at the meme coin market in general, you can see that a lot of them are just consolidating. And it's interesting because it's the 4th of July weekend, so volume has fallen off significantly. For example, Dogecoin only has 500 million in volume. Shiba Inu is under 80 million. Pepe is 439 million. The volume in the market is super low right now. I haven't seen Dogecoin this low in a long time. But what I still want to point out about Oscar that I think is super fascinating is the holders. So Oscar has another staking event going on right now, and you can see that Oscar has 17.8% of the supply being staked. That is $370,000 worth. Again, if you come back over here to Oscar on Dextools, you can see the market cap is 1.8 million. And then you come back over here to Etherscan and there's 370,000 of that staked. If that does not show you strength in a project, then I don't know what to tell you. This is one of the biggest reasons that I'm so bullish on Oscar. I genuinely think they have an amazing community. You come over here and you take a look at their X account and they're constantly doing the right stuff as well. They're helping feed dogs and they're doing all kinds of charity events. I really like this post right here by Bitcoin, Oscar, and Coffee. He says, "Aren't you tired of fake pumps, KOL rugs, and clout-farmed garbage? Oscar isn't noise, it's real conviction. Feeding strays, burning supply, stacking, fully on-chain, audited, real utility, and real tokenomics. While they trick you for exit liquidity, we feed real lives. That's real karma." And to be honest, I think this is the kind of project that a lot of people would like to support anyways. And understand, I'm not paid to make this video or anything of that sort. I simply talk about Oscar because I genuinely believe it's a good project. I also really like to see Oscar's connections. I talk about this all the time, but for example, if you look at the Shiba Inu X account, you can see that they have 3.9 million followers and they only follow 46 people. If you click on who they are actually following and you scroll down, you can see that they actually are following Oscar. And again, Oscar is currently under a $2 million market cap and they have the support of the second largest meme coin. That tells me that they are very well connected. Now, does that guarantee that we're going to see Oscar have another massive explosion again? No, it does not. But you look at how well connected they are. You look at how strong their community is, and you can tell their community is strong again by the staking. They have over 17% of the supply staked. And on top of that, with the community, I always recommend joining their Telegram as well. I genuinely believe that they have excellent leadership, especially for a project this small. But ultimately, again, this is going to come down to Ethereum. It's going to come down to Bitcoin. When you look at Bitcoin right now, you can see that Bitcoin is basically trading in a similar situation to Ethereum. Unlike Ethereum, it is way above all of the moving averages. However, the main thing that I was watching for Bitcoin was this macro trend line. And you can see that Bitcoin had started to break above the macro trend line. However, we have now broken back into this pattern. If we can't break back above this trend line, then I would expect more consolidation. Same thing for Ethereum. Again, the main thing I'm watching for Ethereum is the 200-day moving average. This is a very important level. And right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum do both have overbought stochastics on the daily time frame. That does cause me to lean a little bit more towards a correction. But even if we do get a short-term correction, it's still very important to look at the bigger picture. And just remember that Ethereum was significantly lower than this back in early April. Ethereum was back at $1,383. So even after this little pullback, it's still at $2,500. And if you look at the monthly time frame for Ethereum, we still have plenty of juice to keep going. The stochastics are still very oversold and they're starting to push up. Now, the one thing that I don't like about the monthly is that you could argue that we formed tweezer tops. This shows that there's still a lot of indecision. But because of the extremely oversold stochastics, I still think we look pretty good. I think July's candle is going to be very important and it's going to give us a much better idea of the direction that we're going to be heading in. So the daily definitely could pull back, but again, I think the monthly looks very good. So overall, Bitcoin and Ethereum are still pretty indecisive right now. We haven't really chosen a clear direction. And in turn, that's causing a lot of meme coins, not just Oscar, but a lot of meme coins in general have started to bleed. That's just the reality of what's going to happen when there's a lot of indecision in the market. But you also have to understand there's a decent chance that rate cuts come. And that's something that could absolutely add a spark to the market. But that's about it for the update today. If you guys are interested in Oscar and just market updates in general and being around a like-minded community, then I always recommend taking a look at my Discord. If you come over and you take a look at the all-time gainer list, we've hit some massive multipliers in here. And if you look through the crypto gain section, we're printing in here all the time. So if this is the kind of community that you resonate with, you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to see you guys in there. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are feeling about Oscar. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.